This is Jocko Underground Podcast, number 60, with Echo Charles and me, Jocko Willink. We are sitting here getting ready to record this thing, and I'm saying Echo Charles, I'm saying Jocko Willink. What's in a name? I was thinking about this the other day. It turns out there's a lot. There can be a lot in a name. There's a theory, as I researched this, there's a theory, or should I say there's a hypothesis that people tend to gravitate toward things in life that kind of fit their names, which is an interesting thing to think about. The hypothesis is called the nominative determinism, which means name-driven outcome. So whatever your name is, there's a decent chance that might influence the way you think and where you end up in life. Maybe decent chance is a strong word, and we'll get to some of the research here. There's an October issue of The Psychologist, and it says that authors gravitate towards areas of research that fit their surname. This is research. Yeah. The example in the article they use is there's an article on incontinence from the British Journal of Urology, and it's written by Dr. A.J. Splatt and Dr. D. Weedon. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of strange, right?
It seems strange, yeah.
There's another magazine, a British magazine, had some good examples. There's a guy named Andrew Drinkwater who works at the Water Research Center. There's a guy named Dr. Will Welfare who works at the Public Health Department in England. There's a guy named Alan Toogood who's a Samaritan volunteer. A woman named Dr. Pam Graves, and she's an archaeologist. There's a guy named Tom Kitchen. Guess what he is? He's a chef. Yes, you see what I'm going? A woman named Sarah Blizzard, BBC weather reporter. A guy named Aaron Farr, he's a distance runner. When you speak of running, Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real.
So there is a little bit of research behind this. And look, it looked like even the numbers that they threw up, it's pretty minimal. It's not like this direct correlation. But at the same time, I started thinking about this pragmatically, like how does this apply to us as people in what we do and how we interact and how we interact in groups and how we lead groups if we're leading groups. Think about when you give a team a name or when you give a nickname to someone, right? So if you nickname your kid Dummy, you see what I'm saying? Sure. How's that going to work out?
Yeah.
If you nickname your kid Champ, hey Champ, come here. How's that going to work out? Yeah. Look, is this 100% correlation? No. But let's face it, if you nickname your kid Dummy or you nickname your kid Champ, now look, you could nickname your kid Champ and then think they should win everything and now they are a brat, right? Could that happen? Sure. But if you nickname your kid Knucklehead or you nickname your kid Ace, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. These can have, and they did some legitimate, in reading some of these things, they had some legitimate things the way this turns out. And the real obvious examples is like naming a team or naming a military unit. Hackworth in the Korean War, he took over Fox Company and changed it immediately to Fighter Company. Think about what that does to the mentality. And when he got to Vietnam, he took over the Hopeless Battalion and he changed it to the Hardcore Battalion. I think it might have been the Hard Luck Battalion. I'm confused. But he changed the name to Hardcore. Why? Because the other one doesn't even matter anymore because we're the Hardcore. Yeah. I did the same thing at SEAL Team 3, changed Task Unit Bravo to Task Unit Bruiser. So this is an important thing to think about. It's an important thing. Here's another thing. Like, you're at work. You got a guy on your team. What nickname do you give them? Now, in the SEAL teams, it's awful. You're going to get a nickname that is making fun of you. Yeah. that's the way it is. I mean, Dave Burke, you know Dave Burke's call sign?
Yeah. Well, now it's Good Deal Dave.
Yeah,
but the call sign, Chip.
Yeah, Chip, which was making fun of him because he chipped his teeth on something, some pilot thing.
Sure.
So name people and name things and nickname people positive things, and you are going to at least have a chance that you have a positive impact on the scenario.
Yeah.
And, even you can name processes. Like you have a process for something. And if you name it, the drag, no one's going to like it.
Yeah.
But if you call it lightning, people are going. And you can see the government. The government tries to do this stuff too, right? They give things names. They frame it a certain way. Yeah. What do you think about your name, Echo?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, what depends on what you mean. So,
do you think it had an impact on your life?
Yeah.
Compared to, you have a twin brother, right? Your twin brother, his name is also kind of unique, right? Jade.
Yeah.
Did it have some kind of impact on you?
Yeah.
What kind of impact? What if your name was Bill?
Yeah, it fell in line with the idea that I was just different a little bit. So I always felt different. Mm-hmm. And I don't know in what way, to be honest. And I don't even know what even that even means. But, I guess that's kind of the irony, right? Where we all feel different. We all feel like we're different, right? A little bit. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we do, maybe don't. I know I did. Put it that way. So
you felt different?
Yeah.
Because your name?
My name was one of the things that made me feel even more
different.
I don't know. Like, I guess when you think about it, that I had a twin brother, that made me different.
Do you remember when you realized that you were a person?
Yeah.
What was it?
2 years old.
What do you remember?
Doing this. When people would ask me, how old are you? It's a common question. And I'd do this, and I remember seeing this, like, between my fingers.
Seeing your own fingers.
Yeah. So between my two fingers, making a 2. And then it, like, spiraled. You ever did this where maybe when you're a kid, when you look at your hand and you're like,
this is
holy cow, yeah, this is me. This is me. Like, and you just spiral into almost like insanity a little bit. You ever get that? Oh, I remember. Yeah, that started at 2 years old. I remember.
Yeah. I'm going to have to dig back into my memory because I remember thinking about this like 2 years ago. I sort of remembered when I remembered it being like, oh, I'm a person.
Yeah.
And I have autonomy in the world, and I can do what I want to do. And there's going to be forces fighting against me, but I can get strong to where I can defeat those forces.
Yeah,
remember those thoughts?
No, I never had that. No, I never had that thought.
Well, here's what I think. So my nickname, Jocko, is a nickname, right? But it's a nickname I've had ever since I was born. So even before I was born, that was my nickname. Mm-hmm. What I think that did influence is that when I would meet, this is back in the 70s, man, there was no weird names. Everyone has a weird name now, right? Yeah. Like legitimately, every kid is named like a weird name.
Yeah, very common.
My kids all have weird names. Like it's just your kids have weird names, right?
They're mediocre weird, I guess. It's not John, Bill, and Mike.
That's what I'm saying.
And Jan.
So back in the day, when I was going into, first grade, second grade, kindergarten, you go out on the schoolyard, whatever, you're meeting Bill, you're meeting Frank, you're meeting David, and then there's this freaking kid whose name is Jocko, which is a totally different type of name. Yeah. They don't know what it is. So I'm immediately like, you're going to get made fun of, kind of. You're going to be noticed a little bit. And what you have to do is you have to be able to, at a very young age, I had to be able to negotiate a little bit of awkwardness and maybe a little bit of teasing, or maybe a little bit, I had to learn to negotiate that at a young age.
Yeah.
And I think that made me comfortable interacting with people at a young age and thinking, oh, my name's Jocko. What kind of name is that? It's a dumb one, but that's what my parents get. Whatever, like the little things. So I think that like the same as having the name Echo, kind of you have to learn how to negotiate having a strange name that you actually have to explain.
Yeah.
Every time. I probably had to explain my name to every person I met for the first 10 years of my life.
Did they? That makes sense. Same here.
You know what I'm saying?
Still, even
what
now.
Kind of name is Jocko? And again, I think nowadays you meet people named whatever. Everyone's got a weird name. You go to the kids' jiu-jitsu class, it's a bunch of weird named kids. Everyone's more unique now, I guess.
Sure.
But legit, back in the day, my wife's name is Helen. Her brother's name is John. Yeah. My sister's name is Jenny. Yeah. My other sister's name is Julie. My dad's name is John. It's just, that's the way it is. Everyone just had normal names, and all of a sudden, boom, here's this weird kid named Jocko.
Yeah.
I gotta explain that. I gotta be able to contend with it. People are gonna make fun of it.
Yeah. Did they ever make fun of you? Because Jocko's not a name, just like my name's not a name that they're gonna be mean about it.
What name would they be mean about?
If your last name was, I don't know, there was this Hamburger or something.
Yeah, you could get some bad last names.
Yeah, especially last names. Yeah, there's certain Filipino last names. If you're not Filipino, they'll sound funny. Mm-hmm. Like there's one, Macadang Dang. That was one that I remember.
Pretty common in Hawaii.
Well, no, in the Philippines. In Filipino, yes, and there's a lot of Filipinos in Hawaii for sure.
So you had a number of friends whose last name was Macadang Dang.
This was elementary school, so this was, and yeah, you're right. Later on in high school, there was a bunch of people named Macadang. But the first girl that came in, she came from the Philippines too, so she had a thick Filipino accent, and her last name was Macadang Dang. When you're kindergarten, first grade, second grade, that sounds funny, so they're gonna be teasing it like it's an actual funny last name. Echo is like, oh, is there an Echo in here? Oh, what's your name? Echo. What is it? Echo. What is it? Echo. Like that kind of stuff. But that's not mean. That's just like, they're trying to be funny or whatever. So yeah, you contend with that. Jocko doesn't seem like one that would be mean because it kind of sounds cool.
Yeah, generally speaking, it was more of like curiosity, or maybe make a little joke. I used to say, people were like, what kind of name is that? I'd look at him with a straight face when I was 8 years old, and I go, oh, it's short for Jocko. That is a little excerpt of what we are doing on the Jocko Underground podcast. So if you want to continue to listen, go to jockounderground.com and subscribe. And we're doing this to mitigate our reliance on external platforms, so we are not subject to their control. And we're doing it so we can give you more control, more interaction, more direct connections, better communications with us, strengthen this legion of troopers that are in the game with us. So thank you. It's jockounderground.com. It costs $8.18 a month. And if you can't afford to support us, we can still support you. Just email assistance@jockounderground.com and we'll get you taken care of. Until then, we will see you mobilized underground.